And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. So we got to Bootleg Bay. We're doing the Temple of Tenastia or something. I meant to look that up and figure out who exactly that is. I don't know if it's the same person. It's like the spider god thing, the Skull of Shadows and all that, but that might be it. I recently watched a video on that game's lore. Those snakes? I think it's puddles of water. Okay, I got no idea. Yeah, I watched a lore video on Might and Magic Dark Messiah, right? It's made by Ubisoft, like some of the newer games. So some people don't really consider that to be one of the games. It's Might and Magic in name only. It plays, you know. It's loud outside. Yeah, it plays, you know, entirely differently, apples oranges kind of deal, with you know, the Might and Magics that I like. Now, that being said, I do like Dark Messiah a lot. It's a super fun game. I mean, taken out of context is the best way to play that game. Just take it for nothing more than what it is. Don't compare it to the classics, not 6 and nothing like that. Yeah, it's just not. It's not fair. They aren't the same in any type of way. It's comparing, you know, Farmville is probably a decent example. It's like comparing like Farmville to, you know, Halo 5 or something. You know, there's no valid comparison that you can make there. You know, they're both games, but they're so different. They don't serve the same function. None of it's the same, you know. I mean, you could roughly compare this game to. Nothing's here. I can see it. Whatever. You can roughly compare this game to like Skyrim or something, you know. They're both adventure games, right? RPG-ish, adventure-ish games. Makes sense, but point is though, I was looking at the lore, so I was curious. And they mentioned some spider god or something.
Got it.
Don't really know what her whole thing was, but she was important for some reason. And like basically the whole game was about it. And there's a chance that it might be the same person, or same god thing. It's definitely questionable to worship a giant spider, but I mean, you know, pun intended, but pick your poison. I just feel like that's a bad move. It was a really good it was a really good video about the lore. It's I forget the name of the channel. If you put in Might and Magic lore, a lot of different stuff will come up, but it should be one of the first things. It breaks it down by the time periods in the Might and Magic world. You know, before the silence, after the silence, and stuff, and takes you through the games. I want that. It's just neat. There's enough lore here that I definitely would like to do a deep dive into it eventually. Especially if I ever want to do like a retrospective video essay type of deal for this game. I would almost have to know the lore. I mean, I know most of what's going on, but I mean, to say that I could tell you every last little thing, that's a stretch. Like, why are there Titans? You know, why all the things? Who exactly was Archibald and who exactly is Roland? I don't know. I picked. I didn't play my Magics 1 through 5. If they ever remade them in the style of this game, then yeah, I would totally play them. But like I tell a lot of people, the Might and Magic series is old. Like, remarkably old. This game is at around as old as I am, I think. Give or take a couple of years. I don't know, I mean, the book was published a few years after me, but yeah. It's the first couple of games, at least the first one, if not the first 1 to 2 or 3, are just unplayable by modern standards. If you didn't grow up with those games, there's no one today that would find them and be like, wow, this is what is up. You know, the average person just, we aren't used to that type of game at all. So, it is what it is. This one is the farthest back that's still, you know, playable by modern standards. You know, your gamer, and this is, you know, my brother and I talk about this sometimes. I hate to say like gamer intuition or something, but just, you know, your knowledge of how a game should work, right? You know, if I picked up any random game, any single game, think of the most obscure game you can personally think of that there's a solid chance I've never heard of. I mean, first things that come to mind are like, you know, Final Fantasy or Devil May Cry or something. You know, obscure games I literally haven't thought about in like 13, 14 years? Maybe longer? Went the wrong way, didn't we? But even still, if I were to sit down and, you know, play those games, it wouldn't take a whole lot for me to understand the game and what's going on, how to play it, you know. Not the lore bits. I'm not talking about the lore. I'm talking about the, you know, the mechanics of the game. Just to be able to play the game, right? No, anybody that's played Skyrim or World of Warcraft or just whatever would probably be able to sit down and play this game with no outside, you know, instruction. Obviously, you know, you don't come in knowing like the meta and stuff, but you know what a fighter is supposed to do. You know, you have a concept of a paladin. You know, somebody that has just simply played a computer game before knows how to move. You know, knows, you know, roughly what to do. You know, run around, click on stuff. Like, yeah, pretty easy concept to grasp. Alright, flip that. And you know, that's kind of what I mean by gamer instinct. Just sounds so bad. I like to think that, you know, those of you that this is a new concept to, you kind of feel what I'm saying. Those of you that understand and have a better way of saying it, by all means, please say it better than me. Because maybe I'm not saying it very well. Yeah. Poisoned. Yeah. So, Might Magic 6, 7, and 8. Those are the good ones. 1 through 5, just they can't receive a fair judgment by today's standards. You would have to have some kind of external reason to play them than, oh, that looks fun, let me try it, you know? And I love Might and Magic 6. I like 6, and I like Dark Messiah. I've never played the Heroes games. I've watched it, like, maybe once or twice on Twitch or something, maybe. But that's about it. Nothing past that. You know, so I have no desire to go play 1 through 5. I'll read the lore from somebody that wrote it down somewhere else. And that'll all kind of, you know, work itself out. If everyone anymore. That bad, at least. Might Magic 7 is, some people consider it to be better than 6. For, you know, whatever the reasons are. And that's fair, you know? Might Magic 7, it's just not as familiar to me. And, you know, whenever I'm playing games, to me, gaming is playing popcorn. The point is to have fun and not have to think about it too much. It's just easy, simple fun. That's what this game is. I can literally play this game very much like in a brain-dead state. Kind of, it's a really good spear. And, you know, I don't have to put forth, like, any effort into it. It's great. That's exactly what I want out of a game. You know, I'm open to trying Might Magic 7 if I could ever get the thing to record correctly. I was going to do a random party on there. It's, Might Magic 7 is mostly blind if I were to play through it. I played it briefly a while back. I don't know how long ago, but a while back I did a brief stint with it. It was interesting enough.
Hello.
Oh yeah, Arathia, that's my Magic 7. Something about elves, I don't know. God, sidetrack. And then 8, I watched a Let's Play of it because I was just really curious about it, you know? I didn't have a concept of what it was, how it played, I didn't know anything about it. It's a weird sound. Oh. Oh. Well, there's more. So yeah, with Might Magic 7, I know enough about it to get through. But the farthest I've gotten into the game, I couldn't even tell you where I was. And then between that and the Let's Play of Might Magic 8 that I watched, I just don't have a very good concept of any of it. So, you know, it's, mostly blind, if I ever get around to it. I'd still, I think I'd still like to run a, random party on it. Just for the fun of it. Make it a little more interesting. Because, you know, with the knowledge I have of the Might and Magic games, 7 based on 6, plus, you know, that gamer instinct, I know that I want a healer. I know that I want somebody with light and dark magic. I know that I want some kind of a fighter, some type of way. I know that those are the things that I want, right? But if I randomize it and I get, like, you know, a monk, a rogue, a ranger, and a druid, you know, it's more interesting, in my personal opinion, at least. We'll see, though. The very first step to it is getting it to record properly, and I just don't know how to do that yet. Because the whole alt-tab thing that you see at the start of every episode that I posted here, I mean, that for some reason it just doesn't work, and I use good old games for the whole thing. Wow, that was worth 1 level up? Man, that's so disappointing. What month is it? September? Okay, well. So be it, I suppose. Right. But so Might Magic 7 is, different tangent here, but Might Magic 7 is, it's different than 6. It plays different, it handles a little bit differently. The gameplay loop and things are roughly the same, for the most part, at least. So I'd be able to understand it just fine. It's just, the actual doings of the things,
How are you?
I don't know. Next quest that we're doing was, oh, right, the, Etheric. Sorry, I'm getting, like, super sidetracked. But, yeah, Might Magic 7, it has, there's 4 different races you can play in it. And that's a neat concept. I wish they could just kind of, copy-paste might be the right word for what I mean. But just, a little bit of variety there would be fun, in my opinion.
I've got a bad feeling about this place.
Oh, also, be aware, we're going to be doing this quest and attempting to exploit the hell out of the game, and if it works, I believe it's allowed. It's one of those, I'll explain later, but we do not want to loot these. It's not worth it. Yet. We're going to come back and get them. Yeah, but, races would be cool. I'd like to see new classes. We only have 6 classes, and frankly, there's just a hierarchy of... What the heck? It's weird. There's a hierarchy of them. Some are very just inherently better than others. So, I think it'd be, a nice little just flavor to have the other races. And then the mechanical differences between the classes would also be a welcome change. I think the system where not every class can be a master at everything is really nice. I appreciate that. In this game, that's why there's such a hierarchy. There's no difference between anybody. Whenever you're talking, like, the most powerful class, right? It's going to be, the sorcerer. Just inherently. They have light and dark and elemental, and that's amazing. Just so much damage, It's so much mana, and the game's already easy enough to cheese, After them, you have the cleric, then the druid, then the archer. Then the paladin is... The paladin and the knight are very close, but distinctively in last place. The second you have access to light and dark magic, which, if you have the mirror magics at all, you have access to them in the first place, and you can master both of them. It's not a thing in 7 or whatever. So, maybe sorcerers should have to pick one or the other, and clerics you have to pick, or maybe you have to pick one or the other, be a master in, be an expert in the others, whatever it is. That's kind of what 7 did. And then they were able to use that same system and make the classes different. Because in this game, you can have an archer who is, just they're not an archer. You know, you can spec them entirely as a wizard. I had 4 archers, right? Well, 3 of them would be spec. They'd all basically function as sorcerers. Basically. Fire magic would be, pumped through the roof, because that's how we're going to put out the maximum amount of damage, so we can generate XP the fastest way possible to level up the skills to maximize our damage, right? It's just kind of cycle. Cursed. It's our best guy, too, in my very biased opinion. But, that's where, and some things can't learn, skills altogether, but running off that first thought, so if the archer could only wear up to chain or something, well, now the knight has something over them, right? The knight can wear plate mail. I'm making a mistake. Oh no. Oh, I blunder these. Yeah, if they were mechanically different then, yeah, that would really change things. I feel like. If the archer wasn't able to be as good of a sorcerer as a wizard, at the elementals. Well, then now you have to pick. Do you really need that flexibility? Do you want to specialize? What's their end game, And they added Grandmaster, right? Which was a big welcome change, because now you can specialize even more. Nope. You can specialize even more, right? And at the Grandmaster level, if you can only get up to Expert, well, it's a big deal. Because, for obvious reasons, Grandmaster is going to be, some super powered thing, Like, I'd say it was, like, leather added to your elemental resistances, which for somebody who isn't, cheesing the entire game, well, that's going to matter a lot, because now they can have insane defenses. Is that Etheric? I don't think Etheric's even earlier. Let's see, good for us. Nice. We need to group them up or something, but yeah. And so, if the archer could only wear up to chain, or actually, now that I think about it, I think they can, but they can still master chain. I mean, you kind of get the point there. But, they can learn any weapon, but what if they could only learn, axe, dagger, and something else, It's making, like, a legitimate reason why you need to pick. And that's what makes a roleplay game. It's that it's differentiated classes. Also, I don't think we're gonna win this fight. Power Unleash is way stronger than I thought. We'll fight until we can't, but we'll see what happens. Right, so following that, to the conclusion there then, if, nice. And my magic, saw that awaken, didn't we? Did we see it? He did. Nice. Oh, didn't work again. Yeah, receive's coming. Sue me. So Magic 7 had more classes, and each one had a couple things that made sense that they could be the Grandmaster in. And then at the Grandmaster level, you know, they're as good as can be. They are the best at the thing. And that's fantastic. But they couldn't learn everything. And I don't know exactly how all the... Oh, there's Etheric. Which, actually, now I think about it, this isn't even the right dungeon. We're doing the wrong quest. I mean, we still need to kill this guy, but it's the wrong dungeon. Oops. I'm so out of time. We both. There we go. So, they had 8 classes that were able to, you know, be the best at their thing. And they added extra skills and whatnot just to, you know, round things off. And that's fantastic, you know? But then they added, you know, like the Ranger, who can do anything, just not very well. From a late game standpoint, we all know that that's not ideal. You need to pick something and specialize heavily into that, whatever it is, to that something. You are a dark magic user, you're a fighter. That character is whatever that character is going to be. No good spear, we keep those. Where these guys came from. So I think that'd be a neat addition. Personally, I would like it toggleable, but now in a game with so few options, it's definitely within the realm of reason that you could pretty easily parse what is the best option, right? So like in this game, there's only 6 options. And of those 6, some of them just simply aren't late game viable. You know, anything will work, yeah, sure. Just it's so much of a detriment to play like that. It's just not ideal. Case in point. You know, 4 knights. We are not an ideal party by any means. In fact, I'd argue that 4 knights is pretty awful. I mean, we are getting destroyed. That's fine. But if we had magic, this would be so much easier. We could heal or put out more damage at 27, you know? Ah, shoot. The XP difference is starting to get kind of real. Let's go ahead and just get out of here. We're done. We're done here. Shoot. We'll get that fixed. Right. So with so few options, it's easy to figure out what is the best. And the best is almost, you know, an even split between either.
How are you?
There we go. You're fine. I'm getting the lesbian spell location. Yeah, I've never seen that before, so I don't think that's a thing.
How are you?
Yeah, whatever. So let's go do the right quest this time. Lost of train of thought again, man. Right, so it's the best party that you're going to get in this game is either going to be the 3 sorcerers with a cleric, or 2 clerics, 2 sorcerers. A little bit of debate there, just kind of depending on who you ask, sort of. I think I'm a little partial to having the extra cleric. Just in the off chance that something goes bad mid-game, you're a little bit stronger. At the very end of the game, it might not be that way, but, you know, that's why it's debatable. But so you add in 3 extra classes, you know. What's the advantage to having a ranger? They're good at, no, they can do everything, they're just not good at anything. Well, I don't know what the advantage is, because I've never really played the game. Totally wrong direction. But, and then if you multiply that some more, you know, there's probably more debate. And then if you have to pick, you know, between a class that can be spec'd 2 different ways, now it's more. World of Warcraft is a very extreme lateral limit of this entire concept. There's a lot of stats, a lot of options, a lot of specs. I mean, it goes. We are strong. We are strong enough to be in here, right?
Fixed. Oh.
I hope we can be in here. Let's say an extreme example. It's a far lateral limit to figure out what's the best. But so this game is very simple because of all that. There's limited options. Everybody can do everything. So when you're trying to think of a challenge run type of idea for this game, it's just kind of hard. You know, the Gaggle of Archers thing. Well, you know, sure. You're gonna be pretty strong in the early to mid game. That's fine. But you're gonna be bad late game, and you know it's fine. But if you wanted to make it like a real challenge, you would have to, you know, do something like, you know, 4 sorcerers except no mirror magics. Well, now we're onto something. You know, you don't have the, you still have the same spell pool as an archer without the melee capabilities. I think the middle ground there is the polar opposite of this party, which is that all druids party. Which I think will be interesting enough. Definitely worth giving a shot. Just to see what happens. You know, and you know maybe don't use blasters or something. I don't know. Because we would have access to haste in that scenario and all the buffs. It just wouldn't be as convenient. So it would just be speccing very heavily into fire magic for the haste and, you know, the other things and whatnot. Right. I feel like it was a huge tangent off of something. I don't remember where all that started, but, yeah, I don't remember. It was something, I'm sure. Yeah. Put this veteran down. If we can just get him to flee, that'd be good enough for me, honestly. These guys are likely a aggressive enemies, they'll probably stay and fight for a while. But there's no reason to waste a whole action attacking that guy over there, because he's not doing anything. Oh, see? Sort of free up a little bit of space. Another veteran. They stay in the melee though, they have to go. So, let's bring it back to my magic, the other ones. 8 is a pretty significant departure from the whole thing, as I understand it. Because, in 8, you don't make a party out the gate. You start off with one guy, and the classes are very strange. Like, Elf is a class or something. And, like, Minotaur is a class. And I don't really know how that works, you know. It's strange, and you know, you go hire a Minotaur, and now you have access to those things, or you know. This is my magic 8. I think I said that. Yeah, 7 you still make a party. So I might be willing to try 8 someday, but it's pretty low priority if I ever get around to it. I'm sure it'd be interesting, but I'm not going to put forth a lot of effort to go through that. I'd rather play 7, because it's still fairly consistent with the Might and Magic that I know, which is 6, and how 6 works. But I like 6. 6 is fun. So, big tangent there off of whatever it was that I was saying, but, you know. Gamer instincts and lore and whatnot.
Fixed.
But even still, I could probably sit down at 7 or 8 and understand how the whole thing works. And, you know, if not perfectly understand everything, I know what I'm looking for. Ton of rats. I think you were the smart guy. There you go.
Not here.
No. Oh, we're about to get jumped, aren't we? Oh, no. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. Cool. Let's see if we can get a rest in. Yes. Okay. If we can open up a few volleys of arrows to weaken them up a little bit. Can't tell if they're wearing a sword, but they're using an axe. So I'm not totally sure why they have the rats. It's a very strange thing. Maybe it's like a joke how fighters guilds usually start out with fighting rats or something. So it was like the whole thing with Morrowind and Oblivion. The first quest in Morrowind, we kill some rats. First quest in Oblivion is go protect some rats from mountain lions. And when I was a kid, I didn't get it. But later on, I started to understand, what the joke there was. This makes it a little more interesting. It's a fighter. That'll help the action economy. Less opportunities to be swung upon. We're swung at a lot, though. How they shuffle like that? The damage is like, unintentionally very spread out. Got one little retreat. That's good. Once they start retreating, they're a lot easier to beat because they're not shooting back at us. You stay in the combat, you have to fight. And there's
Very nice.
nothing in me. That was, there we go. This place is probably a little too high level for us, so we just need to be careful about it. I will remember to get to get Master Disarm eventually. That is the last room, but we can't go in there. Yeah. We need to go through a different door first. Yeah, there it is. Not seeing any veterans. Let's take care of well, looks like the fighter's already done. Nice. It's veteran here. They must have just really high resistances to melee damage. I might consider doing a let's play of Dark Messiah pretty soon too. It's not like a iconic childhood game or anything for me, but I remember it fondly. It's a lot of fun. Man, so many knights. Granted, our gear really isn't terribly good. We found a couple of solid things, but we're not making, you know, leaps and bounds style progress. You know, my other party started off with some insane gear. But then this party got 0 relics and artifacts and things, and that's super disappointing. Why am I still opening these? Nothing There's something in one of these rooms that I need, and I'm going to figure out which room it is and what it is that I need. But, yeah, we're just going to get some bad luck, and hopefully, you know, without just pointlessly elapsing a lot of time, we'll be able to go and re-loot those chests again, because we're not going to be able to fight dragons for a long time. I'm going toe-to-toe with the dragon. A dragon? I think it's possible. Dragon Sand? I don't think so. Oh. It's fixed. I'm trying Common Sand, if you don't have blasters or dark magic or something, I mean, you're kind of dead in the water there. There's not much you can do.
Got it.
Still nothing, man. Gotta be something. One of these for sure. Yeah, but, you know, those chests are pretty much the only way we're gonna have access to relics and things. We could probably kill Hydras and Titans, maybe. But anything in that weight class, we are really gonna struggle with until we, you know, have blasters, and even then, it's still, Jesus, still very limited use. Okay, so we could have actually skipped all of that. So we don't have to do any of that. And now we're about to go down again. So, I'm just trying to put down a couple of these guys. Action economy is very important. I guess we're also really not overly optimizing this party. Wanting prepare and identify on everybody for, you know, just the convenience of it. We lost out on a lot of potential there. You know, even if we're not a master or able to master our weapons yet, we can still jack those skills up, you know, and that would still help out a lot. But we didn't. And I don't have much of an opportunity right now. I mean, attack bonus is cool, but we don't get damage off that. It's spears that we do. But shoot, honestly, with some of these weapons, I hate to say it, but I think a spear might be better than some of these weapons. Fix that economy. Okay. Come on, guys. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Please. Just a little bit longer. Alright, we got him. Solid. Oh wow, we're really out of room, aren't we? Put that on the floor. I mean, we don't need that, but well, we could drink this potion. What does it do? Nah, there's 10 armor class. It's still fine. I'll still take it. But I also want to save and sleep for 8 hours in this hostile dungeon.
There's no room. There's no room. There's no room.
Just put on the floor.
This will be useful.
Ooh, good cape. I think the raw armor class will probably be more useful. So we're going to keep the raw armor class. I also feel like we missed an entire section somewhere. What dungeon had the spawning rats in it? Was that not this dungeon? Oh. Probably the room back there. Which probably opens up the other room. Did we forget to give the skull back? Oh, we did, right. I went to pick up the quest, but I didn't actually get the skull back. Silly. Yeah, so this is the rats thing. A dangerous little section, but... I mean, that's okay spawns. I really wonder if this Mordred thing will work. Just to see. I have a sneaking suspicion that it probably won't work the way that I think it might. But if it does, that'd be kind of neat. Also, Mordred was easier to get to be a great source for early game weapons if this works. But once again, I don't know if it'll work at all. Hanging on rats. Oh, salty veteran, just chilling with the rats. Takes so many hits.
So much for you.
And that war cry.
Okay.
The rats, the easiest thing in the well, definitively the easiest thing in this dungeon, but it might be one of the easiest things in the game, honestly. Oh no, we're caught. Spawn the rats. This is gonna take a while. More rats. Rats. It gives you way too much time. Are those footsteps? I'm not too sure what the plan here was. Back in the day, that is such a dynamic fight. True, totally some D&D level stuff. Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Fixed.
Let's separate these guys as best we can. That way we can focus them down a little better. The difference between a veteran and a fighter is massive.
Fixed.
Let's call them fighters. Yeah, fighters. You can drop a fighter in like one or maybe two hits. The veterans take so many. It's just 3 veterans now. Okay. I'll hit him with some arrows.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit of free damage. Even if it's on the wrong target. See, if we were able to focus him down just a little bit better, we'd have one dead veteran and one veteran fully alive. Cool. So that's like half of them. Oh, that was all of them. Nice. There we go. Mordred. Now we're gonna go do some sketchy things.
Closed.
Oh, it's the next day already. 6 food for free. I'll take it. Some horseshoes. Oh, what day is it? We have a use of fly that we're not going to use, so let's pick those horseshoes right quick. We could clear everything out on this map for a little bit of XP, a little bit of money. Probably come out, if we do the whole map, it'll probably come out to 15 to 2,000-ish. So, I don't know if that's worth all the time and effort it would take. So we're at 6 minutes, so I just want to go try the sketchy stuff and see if it'll work. Because theoretically, we could be taking a gold mine right now. Just sleep the day away. We should pick a plate expert while we're here, just across the board, because we're all going to wind up with plate armor. So I think it'd be a good idea to go ahead and do that. Okay. Electricity. I don't remember where that one is. So if we put Mordred on the floor, because it's the quest item, so we'll put this on the floor. Yes, see, now I have 2 memory crystal betas. But that doesn't work for Mordred, so maybe that's not the actual quest. Oh well. It was worth a shot. Because I mean, we'd keep it anyway. Now, if there was something else we could sell in a similar manner, it just has to be a quest item that we can sell and is worth money. I don't know what meets all of those descriptions, but that would be the description. Nice. Why don't we go get Mordred a bunch of times? That'd be a thing. So, plate, 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 and we can't. We can get it for 2 of them. Just need some horseshoes.
How you doing?
Oh, wow. Well, we'll get around to it. So now let's go turn those quests in. So Mordred goes over here. 30,000, and we get to keep it, but we're not going to be using it. So I think we're just going to sell it. If we had somebody that could only use daggers, it'd be great. Yeah, there we go. So those two quests are done. And they're on par for our level. And that's what we're going to be doing for right now. So we just hit the hour mark, and that's where we're going to be stopping for the day. Alright. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see everybody next time.